Hello and welcome back. My name is Brian, and today we're going to look at the solo for Sunny Side of the Street. I'm taking this from the recording by Willie Nelson. Booker T. Jones is playing the piano solo on this one. I've tabbed it out. I'll put a link in the description below where you can get the tab. I'll teach it to you note for note, but I also want to show you the framework and how I visualize the fretboard as I play the solo and as I improvise. To get started, I need to show you guys the pentatonics. Here we go. So starting with we're in the key of G, right? This is not the only way to play G on the ukulele. There's another G, and it's like this. Okay, and this is a shape, right? And that's the important part of this. Is like we know that the first chord we learned is like a C chord, right? We can transpose this C chord shape by like using our index finger here as a bar, right? And so now we're just continuing to play major chords, and I'm going to shift it all the way up to the 7th fret here, and I'm going to play a G chord like that. With this in mind, this becomes like the first layer of how I see things on the ukulele. It's through this shape. Okay, it looks like a C chord, but now I'm playing it here on the 7th fret. There's 3 notes inside of this chord, right? And then this last note here is doubling up that note there. We can add another layer on top of these 3 notes and create the pentatonic, right? And so for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to show it to you on the C, E, and A strings so that it doesn't matter whether you have a high or low G. Here's the pentatonic, right? It goes like this. 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. Okay? 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And I visualize that pattern, that collection of notes on top of this G chord shape. Okay? So here's the G chord, G pentatonic. And that's all we need to know as we get into the solo, right? Because the goal here is not to just learn the notes that make up the solo. Like you could look at the tab and go like, okay, go 6 to 7, 7 to 10, 7. But the better way to learn the solo is to see it in context, like see it as part of the pentatonic shape, and it's going to make it a lot easier to navigate, as you play. So here we go. The first lick of the song, it's like the coolest one. It's right, and already you can kind of see it's like 7, 10, 7, and 10. These are the notes, like the key notes that I'm hitting, right? I happen to be sliding into this one, but you don't even have to slide at first. You can just learn this as like 7, 10, 7, 10, 10. One more time. Okay. Your choice of fingering, you could use the ring finger the entire time on the 10th fret. That's cool. Or you could switch to the middle if you want to get to that high G. But again, like see this lick in terms of like where it sits inside that pentatonic pattern, right? Cool. Let's move on. The next measure is just 4 Gs. Then we're going to go into this. Now that's a chromatic movement. It's outside the pentatonic, but it sounds really cool. Right? So that's the next phrase. Now we're going to go back into that pentatonic shape. It goes like this. Okay, nearly every one of those notes came from the pentatonic. The exception was this one right here, this 8th fret. But that 8th fret led me into the 7th fret, right? So it's going to go 10, 7, 8, 7, 10, 9, right? So we've got the notes, right, just from that pentatonic shape that we were looking at earlier. So I'm just going to go like this, right? 10, 7, 8, 7, 10, 9. Okay? We're going to go back into a pattern that's similar to the first one we learned. It's like like that. Okay? From here, we're going to come back to this 9th fret, but then come back up to the 10th fret to the 7, right? So there, you're kind of seeing there's like these sort of passing notes that kind of go through the pentatonic shape, but primarily we're playing the notes that belong to the pentatonic. Okay, so we got. Okay, then I'm gonna take a chromatic approach to this 7th fret. Right, da, da, da. Okay. Again, we're using this note that's slightly outside the pentatonic, but I'm getting myself to that note, to that 7th fret. Okay. 10th fret, 7th fret. That whole phrase goes like this. Hey. Okay, so we've just learned this Booker T. Jones piano solo over Sunny Side of the Street. I'm going to play it now, again, with the backing track. Okay, cool. So now you can kind of see, right? Like this entire time, like my hand was basically in this shape, and I was, in a sense, playing all these phrases inside of the pentatonics. You know, occasionally using some of these passing notes, you know, or like that. But all the meanwhile, I'm just sort of framing everything inside of that pentatonic shape. So that's the lesson for today. Again, I've tabbed this out, both the piano solo and the harmonica solo that follows. This is a way that I want to encourage you to look at how to play solos. You know, it's something I've looked specifically at this solo with a couple of my private students to help them start to see that, you know, improvisation can kind of, it's not like some mystical thing where like you just make things up. There's a framework to it, right? And this is, you know, this is one of those frameworks that you can use, which is like, look at the chord shape, look at the pentatonic, the collection of notes, and start to learn these phrases. You know, like build your vocabulary according to how you can see and hear the notes of the pentatonic. Cool. So with that said, I'm gonna play you guys out. I'm gonna bring it back up to tempo here. And I'm just going to kind of improvise and play some of the extended solo for the song, and we will see you again next time. All right, thanks for watching.